Hey, welcome back to Soul Food Ministries and Outreach. I'm Henriette Hobson. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the focus of this channel, which is No More Jim Crow. We are not going back. You can try to segregate us and put crazy laws on the books if you want to, but we're not going back to that. You know what? Not even white people are going to have that. It's going to be, it's just something that is not going to work. We are married, cross-married, in interracial marriages and families. You just can't do it. You can't do it. You just can't go back because you can't change everything, and we're not the same people that we used to be. Excuse me. It's a bad idea. That's all I got to say on people trying to do it. Because for us, it doesn't do anything but lift us up higher. For the people that are trying to do it, they're going to find out that we find ourselves even better when you in the forcing, trying to force us into some demeaning, slave-minded. No, and when we come together, we do things like I said before. Black Wall Street. Ruling kingdoms and creating empires. We will do well, no matter what. But it's not going to be good for what you think you might be doing to harm us. It just doesn't work. Well, anyway, this is all alleged, entertainment purposes, First Amendment right, ministry purposes, and information purposes. Listen, and it's alleged. I just was listening to a clip that they set up, and a lot of people were up in arms about what David Oyelowo said. And I just want to speak on that. I have had the I'll just say this. I don't believe he meant that in any demeaning way, in the sense that he thinks he's better than we are. It's a bad time, bad joke. What he was doing was describing how... He was just giving some facts. He was describing how it came about. Because, first of all, let me say, his confession of faith that he's a born-again Christian, and very serious one. I've been in a ministry with his wife, her coming and speaking and sharing with us and being somewhat transparent. I mean, everybody need to give you all their business, but I mean, this very down to earth. Yes, she's white, but that has no, here nor there, whatever you think about that. But he has shown himself in all that I've seen him do, and I haven't seen everything, I'm sure, but that he is serious about his faith in Christ. And I don't believe that he meant to demean Nigerian people or Black Americans or any other Black people. What he was doing, and they were joking around about it, but what he was doing was trying to explain, and I know a lot of you might think, I shouldn't be on his side or anything, but you know what? Our tempers are high right now with, we're not taking it. And it's just a bad time to, some things just best not say it at the time, people are upset. And if I thought that he meant that, I would feel, some kind of way too. But I really don't think and he came and apologized, because I don't think he meant it. sometimes you say things, you really don't mean them the way they come out. And we're already, got our britches in a bunch about this mess. They keep messing with us. So it's just not a good time to try to explain, even if you are just innocent as I don't know what about it. But, he was trying to break down and give you some actors' tips on how it works when you're trying to develop a different accent. It didn't go over well. People, please give him a break. I really don't think he meant that in the worst way, in what I am hearing people and so offended about it. I think he's black. He's Nigerian. He's all of the above, and he felt like he could speak on that without people being offended by it. But when you start talking about slavery, that David, it's just and he knows. I haven't even heard his apology, but I heard he did apologize. I accept it without hearing it, because I really don't think he meant to be demeaning to us, because that's not the spirit of Christ. But it came out wrong. It just came out wrong. Sometimes things do. They just come out wrong. And he was trying to say that a lot of people come from Nigeria that were brought over here from Nigeria and different other countries, But West Africa was a big, chunk out of there. And them coming over here with that dialect, or, any African dialect, but Nigerian is the one that he speaks. He was saying that people of the South, which, this is where the concentration of everything was, developing the Southern drawl, stemming from the Nigerian accent and all other African cultures and countries. And he just said it so wrong, David. It was just bad. But I forgive you, because I know you. I really don't believe you. I really, if you being the Christian that I believe that you are, I don't believe in your heart you meant any harm. And so, with the country, I won't say what I'm saying. These overseers, okay, that come out of the hills of whatever, and their dialect mixed in with the Nigerian and other countries in Africa, and even, I don't know, from wherever else, the Caribbeans and whatever. But with all that mixed together, that's what made up a lot of what Southern drawl is, and how it sounds a certain way. That was because you have to, that's facts. We did become subservient. We were beaten into it, tortured into it, and had to be careful about how we spoke or said and when we spoke, if at all. And so he studied this, and I feel my heart, goes out to him, because, I just don't believe that he meant that in the worst way, and the way people are taking. I think we're just kind of hot under the collar. Let's not get angry with him just because he was, been over, a British, don't, please don't. You can do what you want. We all have our choices on how we're going to believe, but I'm just telling you what I feel in my heart, okay? And I really believe that the man is a Christian, born again Christian, a real Christian. And he's in that industry, and he's in that business, and he has his foot into the African world, the British world, and the American world. And I'm going to tell you, he did an excellent job as far as I can remember doing MLK. And I'm going to tell you something about him that I haven't heard anybody say. See, there was the lady that played Coretta. She's British too. And they said that David Oyelowo was so serious about how he handled playing Martin Luther King Jr. that he stayed in character even when he wasn't being filmed, because he wanted to make sure that he did justice to the Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. And people were kind of mocking him a little bit, saying, why don't, what is this, you talking like him, all the time. And that was why, because he respected the man so much. And I think someone, and I heard the woman say it with her mouth. I don't know her name, but she played Coretta. And she said, well, I'm not doing that. It ain't that serious. I was so offended by that. And I thought, I wish someone else was playing that role with him. Because she didn't even respect the woman of Coretta Scott King. How wonderful that woman. That's how I know that David Oyelowo did not mean any harm. Give him some grace, please. Because he didn't care what they had to say to him about him. And she was, I think, mocking him about it, And, it's not that serious. And she flipped it off like, it don't mean anything to me about, so who's Coretta, Arrogant. I think she's mixed and British. Oh, and she's a good actress, but I didn't have a lot of respect for her after that. I've seen her play in a few things, and she's very good, but her heart is horrible. And so would you all please give David some grace? Please give David some grace, because he took honoring Dr. King so seriously. And what he said just didn't sound good, but it was the truth. It was the facts. It was a combination of all of and he had to study that to get to that place, to do his job. But sometimes you just don't explain some things, and especially at certain times, the time for everything, that wasn't it. Now it's not it, because we're already up in arms about being mistreated. But I'm gonna tell you all, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. From what I've personally been in ministry, and people that know him and everything. So, let's give him some grace. Let's give him some grace. And he apologized. I know how many times have we gotten in conversations with people and they're laughing and whatever, and say something stupid or something that is quite offensive, or done something. I mean, we've all done it. We've all done it. So just let's give him some grace, okay? Okay. Because he really is a great guy from what I know about him. Don't know him personally. I've never sat down and shared a cup of tea or coffee or, or a scone or a bun or whatever. But his wife thinks a lot of him. The people in ministry that I know, personally, they just love him and think the world of him. So, forgive him and, kind of lift up off of him if you would, because, and I humbly say that because you're an adult and you can do whatever you want. But I just wanted to explain, because we have so many horrible people that really mean to hurt you. And I don't think he didn't. He didn't. I know I'm a minister, and I soul win, and I talk a lot, and you get to talking and you get to saying stuff, and you be trying to be funny, and sometimes you're nervous or whatever, and you're just trying to, be fun, relax and be humble, and just say too much, say it the wrong way, don't explain it the right way, but he was absolutely right, because that's how it developed. They talk about the dialect that we have as Southern or ghetto talking, or whatever they want to call it, or the Southern dialect or what have you. And it all stems from all of that. It's a combination of all of that. And for him to be able to get the voice and mimic his voice as best, he wanted to do such a good job to honor him, people. He did. He did. He did. He said it himself. And so, and people said it about him. They said it about him. So anyway, I just wanted to get on here and say that, because it really hurt me that, when being misunderstood is hard. It really is. And I've been misunderstood. And I know I've said things that hurt other people's feelings. My feelings get hurt, and I'm really, hurt about it or whatever. And God will remind me that I've done it too. And, not to, take it all, whatever. Forgive and move on. Even if they meant to hurt you. Even if they meant to hurt you. He didn't. He didn't. So I hope that you all can, give him some grace, and let's put our energies and focus into what's really dangerous before us. And that, this whole getting ourselves together so that we can handle being great business people and supplying our community and people with what they need, so that they will have to go to other countries' owned businesses and be mistreated, and that we can work things out among ourselves without falling out in the floor, scrapping and hollering and cussing and beating each other, killing each other. Because it's happened, and we do. But and it's going to be, and we got to work that out. People might not like me saying that, but y'all know we do. We've been programmed to do that mess. It's been going on a long time, and there's a lot of stuff built up, and it's, the mentality has just been broken down. And we have to, our tempers are and our emotions are out of control. And we can't allow that to be. We have got to polish all this stuff up and get it, so that we can just keep it. Me included. I've been working on myself, and I'm better. But sometimes, people catch it the wrong time. So, just, let's give each other some grace, and let's focus on what's important. Getting ourselves together, finding ways to, get business and handle it properly, and replace these people that have been in our communities and that are using us and abusing us and shooting us and killing us and stomping us and doing everything possible to us, demeaning us in every way, profiling and the whole nine, everything. And get free from that and lift ourselves up to where we should be, the great people that we are. So, Okay? Love you. See you next time. God loves you more than anyone could ever love you. He cares about you, black people, white people, and all in between. Okay? Let's give our lives to Jesus. It's the only way to beat this evil, because only God can overpower evil. We have to do it through him. Any other way, we're endangering ourselves. We're trying to get revenge, going to jail, or getting killed, or harming someone. You know, we gotta let God do it. It gotta be done through the Spirit. He said we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but we are against principalities and powers and rulers of the darkness of this world. Get in prayer. Get to shutting down the devil, binding him up and shackling him and throwing him into the outer darkness and dry places where he can't come back. He can't come back and harass you and your family. Bring havoc and sickness and disease and anger and poverty and whatever into your family and your community. So anyway, let's love each other and let's be kind. See you next time.